that he hired me, he was very, very troubled by the fact that he couldn't find what he considered to be a good conductor. And, well, that's not even fair. It isn't that he couldn't find a good conductor. He couldn't find one that was appropriate for what he needed. I'm sure he had many good conductors. And when he called me and invited me to be his orchestra leader, and he said, "Why don't you come out and conduct for me?" I was in a hotel room with some of my people. We were going over our own show menu. When he asked me to conduct for him, after my people revived me with the smelling salt, I said, "Why do you need me?" And he said, "Maybe." He said, "I can't get a conductor to understand what it is I'm trying to do. Maybe another singer would understand what it is a singer is trying to do." And I took that as something of a compliment. He hired me then because I was a singer, and he thought that I would be able to understand his needs melodically and metrically in the music. And with that, I joined his company, and I was with him until his last show, which was in 1995. And as you pointed out, at that time, he was 79 years old.
Yeah.
So he was still very much with it, in musically, all the way up until he was just about 80.
Incredible run. Before we wrap up, Frank, I just want to go over a couple of things. Just checking the website out. I know there's a Frank Sinatra stamp that's going to be coming out in May. Is that right? Along with also an album of the best of old Blue Eyes on the reprise years, right?
There is some kind of a package. I'm not familiar with what it is. That is in conjunction with the United States Post Office. That comes out on the day of the release of the Frank Sinatra stamp, which is officially May 13th.
May 13th, right.
Coming up. And, there are laws in this country that for somebody to be honored by having his image on a stamp, that somebody has to be deceased 10 years.
Right.
So what it is that the next day, May the 14th, will be exactly 10 years since my father's death. And that's why the stamp has been prepared. It looks very nice. It's a nice photograph of him.
Great picture of him with the classic hat.
That's right, from that era, and it just says very simply Sinatra.
Sinatra, yeah.
USA. And it just, I'll tell you, we use it sometimes at the end of the show. It is, you asked me if we had video. We don't have video. But at the end of the show, we do put up that picture of the stamp coming out.
Yeah.
And the people react very severely to it when they see that, because it touches me that his country is recognizing him with this honor. And it's wonderful. It's just a great honor.
Well, you talk about the American song of One for My Baby. I mean, he was truly an American success story, coming from Hoboken and lower middle class, maybe lower middle class family, and to rise to number one in show business.
You got it. I mean, that's the American dream. Here was a kid off the streets of Hoboken, and his father was a firefighter, and he had risen to become a captain of the Hoboken, New Jersey Fire Department. And he was, as you say, lower middle class family, immigrant family.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that's truly the American dream when you consider that. And it pleases me too, just the way you put it.
Well, I think there's so many people, particularly here in Sarasota, Frank, that are going to come out and see this show, and great fans of not only yourself, but your dad and the whole family. We want to just direct the people to the website. It's SinatraFamily.com if you want to see that great stamp that's going to be coming out in May, and a lot of great news with the family and all the different things that are coming out. And Frank, we really appreciate you joining us today and just spending a few minutes reminiscing. And I also want to say, enjoy listening to some of your recordings recently. The album you had out called That Face. There's a great recording on that of Girl Talk, which we're going to play a little bit later on the show as well. So you're still recording as well.
We'll be doing some of the things off That Face when we're there.
That'll be great. That'll be Tuesday night, 8 o'clock at the Van Wezel. And Frank, we appreciate it, and hopefully we can do it again down the road. Thanks for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back.